What's going on, traders? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to another live stream. If you're new here, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we jump into it, make sure you read what's on the screen right here, right now. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing you see from me, see or hear from me here or anywhere else is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. Certainly not financial advice. I'm just an idiot yapping here on YouTube for entertainment purposes only. Make sure you also read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content. Let's jump into it. Markets open a couple minutes after the bell, 9:33 and about 30 seconds here in EST. Stream looks good. We look good. If anything's jacked up, you guys let me know. Appreciate you hopping on. The early boys and girls that are on here, grinding on the charts with me, man. Let's make it happen. So, we are here looking at MES, the same micro ES chart that I've been working with. I do have another volume point of control up here, volume profile, excuse me, that I've been looking at. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I've got Topstep X pulled up. This is the Project X platform. We got a few express funded accounts daisy chained together, seeing if we can't make some money. Tough day yesterday. Took 2 L's getting long. Unfortunately, this move did play out that I was aiming for. Just was too early on it. Stop loss was all the way down here. Had to come and take me. Put prior day low in and then rally like 80 points, 90 points off of that low. But let's take a look at the daily chart real quick, as I like to do. Let the market open up a little bit. Not get too anxious jumping in. I won't do too high of a time frame analysis. We know, stonks are going up, consolidating up around these highs. But just looking at the daily candles, kind of coming down over the last few days, right? We're coming into Thursday. If you've been here with me, you've been getting my analysis every single morning, so I don't want to be too repetitive. But we're kind of chopping down here, right? We didn't just continue to put big bearish candle, big bearish candle, big bearish candle, slapping through prior day lows, right? This is what I look at when I'm looking at price action on a higher time frame. We have failed to get below yesterday's prior day low on yesterday, Wednesday. We haven't cracked yesterday's low yet, or the day before that. We kind of got this little doji indecision candle forming here so far from the overnight session. Overall, on the lower time frames, this is pretty choppy, right? Pretty back and forth price action here. We did crack the high, prior day high yesterday, something we haven't done in the last few days, right? If you look at all of these daily candle highs, we've really been failing to get above prior day high, and we've been coming down below prior day low. It happened up here on the 3rd, and then before that, this one over here on the 26th. But still looking weak, right? Kind of consolidating down around these lows. Pretty obvious spot on the chart where if you were going to draw a support zone, like a really just basic trader, where would you draw it? Well, if you're looking left on the way down, probably off this low right here. Big surprise. We stopped there for multiple days. We've been failing to get below. And if you look left through this price action, oh, would you look at that? Another area that's been tested as highs multiple times before a big impulsive move. Also been tested as lows over here. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to put some of this stuff together. Simple stuff. Simple stuff seems to work really well. So, consolidating a little bit down here, kind of chopping. We did have 8:30 a.m. news this morning. We had 8:30 a.m. news yesterday morning. Let's take a look at the news before we jump right into some lower time frame analysis here. Kind of look at where we were at from the overnight session into where we're opening up. Pretty choppy back and forth. Bar coding right now on the 1 minute chart. Let's look at. Why does this look like it's frozen? Okay, it's not. Yeah, we still have good connection. Okay, cool. Let's look at, looks like we want to crack these lows, see if we start selling off. Again, I'm not getting involved in the first 7 minutes here into NYSE Open. It's not my play. If you'd like to jump directly in and YOLO it right at 9:30, be my guest. Do your thing, man. Nothing wrong with that. So we did have, ooh. Oh, okay, no, I got this. I expanded the chart. I thought we had 10 a.m. news. So we did have core and PPI unemployment claims today at 8:30. We had some volatility for that. Nothing else the rest of the day that I'm really concerned about. Really don't care about natural gas or 30-year bond auction, although this can do a little something later into the afternoon for sure. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., that kind of sucks. Prelim consumer sentiment. 10 a.m. news is really disruptive. It's right, a half hour into the session. I like to be looking for trades right at that time. So that's frustrating, but we don't have to deal with it today. So really not too much else to worry about, at least for me right here, right now. Looking at the financial news calendar, we never know if Trump is going to sneeze or someone's going to say tariff, and we're going to jump, 50 points in ES in the blink of an eye. But that is, what we're looking at for the scheduled news. So far opening up, really just barcoding, kind of chopping back and forth here. We are, again, from the higher time frame, we're looking somewhat choppy. If I look at where we're at relative to yesterday's range, here's our prior day high, prior day low. We are dead set in the middle of overnight high and low, dead set at VWAP. We are just below prior day session anchored yesterday's VWAP. And one thing I've added to my chart just to take to look at, not something that I've really added because it's the same tools that I use, a very volume based, right? Just real quick, very volume based. If you look at any tool that I have on my chart outside of price action itself, it's just volume. It's volume down on the bottom, volume profile on the right hand side, VWAPs, which are volume weighted average price, and then some objective levels, right? Some horizontal levels, maybe some discretionary zones above and below. I've got the volume profile. This is the fixed range volume profile. I'm using the drawing tool out of the projections tab all the way down here. Volume based, right? I use both of these volume tools. It's kind of just another complement to this volume profile over here to catch yesterday's session, yesterday's New York session, regular trading hour session, volume profile. And just take a look at where we're at relative to value area high, volume point of control, and value area low from yesterday. Again, just something else to take a look at. I've been feeling like these VWAPs are kind of overlapping a lot, and it just doesn't help me as much as I'd like it to. And not that I'm getting rid of anything. I don't have the NYSE session VWAP on here, so technically you said that's not there, but that would just be dead set in the middle here. Just taking a look at where those value areas are and point of controls are relative to the session volume, the visible range volume profile that starts to form based on what I'm displaying for the current session. Little bit, just a little bit basic kind of underlying levels. All of this stuff, again, guys, secondary to price action and market structure itself. Only other thing I have, other than everything I mentioned on my chart, is order flow over on the right-hand side. I use Bookmap, which again is what I'm anticipating volume, areas where high volume may be traded. So before this in Forex, I was really raw, straight, naked charts because I didn't have any volume and I didn't really find anything else that I liked outside of just discretionary and maybe some objective levels. I've really come to like volume here in the futures market because it's reliable. It seems to really assist me in structuring risk, in making good trading decisions. But it's like anything else, right? You can utilize whatever you want to use. This stuff isn't magical. None of this is going to provide some massive win rate or some insane advantage over another tool. Just find what you like. But I figured I would mention that since I got a couple other markings on my chart. This bad boy back here, giving me value area high, low, and prior day volume point of control. Again, I'm liking that because I like to know where we are when we're opening up here on the 1 minute time frame, and as we start to trade relative to yesterday's day, the overnight session, which I have those levels marked every day, and yesterday's volume profile. Just a little bit of an additional help. On a day like today where we're chopping, we can kind of just take a look at where we're at relative to it. We're down around the value area low, point of control right here, value area high. We can see a lot of the trading session was put in here. Sold off really aggressively, didn't hang out down there for very long. V-shaped recovery, and then a lot of chop back and forth into the afternoon. Pretty difficult to trade day, I would say. Today's session, didn't really go over it too much, but we sold off right through London and then through Asia and London, this looks like to me, and then found some buyers down here on the 4 a.m. time frame, cracked up above, and we've kind of chopped back and forth here. after a little bit of volatility for this 8:30 a.m. news. And now we're opening up again right at VWAP, right in between overnight high and low. Low in the daily session, low in yesterday's session, but not cracking like overnight low or prior day low. Just opening up, you know, kind of sitting right here at this area of high volume. Not a lot of direction, man. Really not a lot of direction. So we'll wait for this to open up. We're going to get our 15-minute opening range here set in about 2 minutes. See what we can do on this. Tough day yesterday. I had to take a couple L's. Ended up taking some L's scalping as well. Some wins, but some L's. And yeah, man, just part of it. I was carrying a long bias, and that definitely didn't help me on the front end. Although my bias, my intuition that we weren't going to just blast lower yesterday, and we were going to find some buyers somewhere down there, not to trust the shorts, was good in the long run, but my timing was off. I was just playing that way too early in the day. Was looking long when we were selling off, and all I had to do was hit the sell button, just play to that low time frame trend. So that first one, not a bad trade. The second one, I really don't mind either. I think on another day, either one of those pay. But I got to recognize I'm on the 1 minute time frame. I'm going for these, you know, modest, slightly positive risk to reward, you know, usually around a 1-to-1 quick trades to play out. And I don't have to have the larger movement captured. I really just have to be capturing a small chunk of that move that I'm trading for. So again, I had that gut feel watching this play out so many times after a larger down day, multiple larger down days, that we, you know, weren't in fact going to crack this low and continue lower, and not to trust these shorts as we got choppy down here. But we did need to come way lower first, and then eventually find buyers and pull all the way back up. But this, you know, getting long down here just was not the move. It's not the move. I was 2 hours too early, hour and a half too early. We found buyers down to 11 a.m. So in any event, really flexible today. Don't have a strong bias one way or the other. I'm anticipating chop. I think that's the most likely movement, just based on what's happened the last few days, based on this news being absorbed and really being kind of a nothing burger. But I'm going to look to flow with low time frame trend, right? We're breaking out to the downside right now, coming through VWAP. We continue lower. I'm going to look for structure to trade off of to the downside. We got our 15-minute opening range set. Oh, no, almost. Got our 9:45 a.m. candle printing right now. So yeah, we continue this movement, show some strong sellers. I'm going to be looking for a pullback and a way to get short. Conversely, we break to the upside. We come through this area of high volume. We start to break towards overnight high. I'm going to look for a way to get long. Simple as that. But so far, this is just kind of choppy. I could see us going either way within these range. None of these trades are going to be holding for a banger. Not that I've really been working with that at all anyway. But we may have some opportunity if we start to move away from VWAP. Otherwise, chopping around in this area, I'm going to try to stay patient. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Appreciate you guys being on here with me. Hanging out. We only got a few of you guys on here. Everybody's sleeping in for Thursday. 580. Yeah, we got a little bit of liquidity right below here. Right down at these lows, actually, that came on as we came down into it. Looks like some buyers want to get filled right down at the 80s. We'll see what we get today. So far, consolidation and then cracking VWAP, looking somewhat weak to the downside. Overall, choppy back and forth overnight session. Not a whole lot of direction. Jumping in short on this. I don't know where you place a stop loss. You could go right here, just anticipating a breakout to the downside. Not a terrible trade, but a bit too early for me. Would just be a breakout trade to the downside, really immediately out of an area of consolidation. But this looks like we want to fill 80s. Interested to see if we fill down here and then start to run lower. But we got our 15-minute set here. choppy so far. Choppy. I'm not really eyeballing anything yet. I could see the early short play, but I think that's a little bit early to try. Breaking lower, pull back to VWAP, and then a short play. I could see that. If we do pull back up into this area and then find sellers again and find some rejection to the downside. None of this really is enough of a pullback. Although it looks like we want to break and run to the downside. Could try something short right here, right now. That's a long. For this breakout to the downside, stop loss right above here with a take profit, really, really tight. Just looking for a sweep down around these lows. I don't think that's terrible, but I think it's just it's a quick trade, really aggressive scalp, and the stop loss wouldn't be in a great spot. I think pulling back to this area would be fine. You can see we're already pulling back. Maybe from up here, if we pull back and then we get some structure to the downside, I could see taking that. This is kind of choppy. Let's see if we want to break it. Let's see if that first potential idea would play, right? Gun to my head, that's my trade if I had to take one. Breaking out to the downside just for a crack below these lows. Quick 1-to-1, stop loss above that level. Just too early. Not a really good trade. We're so back and forth here. That's not a clean invalidation level at all, for me. I think we can easily pull back up right here, sweep highs, and then crack lower. Wouldn't want to stop loss all the way up here and then need a huge movement to the downside, but if I had to take a trade, that would be it. Short, targeting just a sweep below these lows. Low time frame lows into this area of consolidation to the downside. This area of volume down here. Stop loss just above this level. But we didn't hit VWAP. Maybe if we had hit VWAP, if we had pulled back a little bit further and then continued, I'd be okay with this. Give me a little bit better of an invalidation spot, but you got 47 chances if you wanted to try this breakout to the downside. Yeah, late to the party. How do you make the instrument name disappear from the chart? I'm assuming you mean the watermark, and you would right click on the chart, where you can open up settings a number of different ways. You hit settings, and then this watermark right here is what you would take on and off, and that's gonna delete the name from the background of your chart. Not playing any trades for the day. Stay out of the chop and whiplash movements is my plan for today. Let the market pick a direction, and then I'll probably look for something tomorrow or next week. Yeah. Yep. No problem there. There's the short trade playing out to the downside right then and there. Yeah, a really aggressive breakout short to the downside, like we were just mentioning. That's the one that if I had a gun to my head, I'd be taking. Quick 1-to-1 just for a sweep down around those lows. Not a terrible trade, but not a really great one, right? Would I really want to take a stop loss like right here at VWAP as we just start to move lower? No, that's why I didn't put the risk on. But expecting the market to do something based on historical price action that we have printing here and common patterns, and we got that. So not bad so far. Let's see what we can actually capitalize and put trades on for, because we know we don't get paid for having ideas. Right? We don't get paid for talking about what the market might do. Yeah, no problem. And yeah, choppy, right? Choppy down here down around these lows on the higher time frames. Failing to get below lows, cracked prior day high yesterday. Very choppy right here at VWAP. Not a whole lot of direction, right? Not a whole lot of direction. If we zoom out here, what does this look like, right? If I just cherry pick, if I scroll to the right hand, what does all this look like? Not a whole lot of higher time frame direction here, right? There are certainly movements within here that present opportunities if you can get on the right side of it. Certainly movements within all of these, and here's our NYSE session from the 11th, 2 days ago. Yeah, we got movements in between here, right? You can play off of VWAPs and maybe some certain levels, but higher time frame, this is choppy, right? This is very back and forth. We are really not moving higher with conviction, and we're really not moving lower with conviction. We are staying within a trading range. We're consolidating a bit down around these lows. Not for a long period of time, But for right here, right now, we are. So trading down through the 70s, right into the mid 70s, sweeping below this low. Right now, the only thing I have is to look short. Again, didn't take this first one. This is a breakout of this area consolidation. I absolutely wouldn't be selling short off the lows and buying off the highs. You would have been stopped out 5 times. This presented another breakout short, but no retest of VWAP, no pullback to the area of high volume up here, you know, this VWAP level, this area consolidation. That's not enough for me to just say, well, I'm going to get short with a stop loss right here. But we are selling. Market's looking weak so far for this session. Let's see what we get down around this level. Do we get some kind of a pullback? Maybe a way to structure risk to take this towards overnight low? That's what I'd be looking at. That's what I'd be looking at. This can absolutely turn into a choppy day. We might have to pull back up here. But I'm going to look to try to flow with this low time frame trend. If we get a way to structure risk. So far, not presenting it. Not presenting it. Yep, Wolf answering that one. Topstep X does have the candle countdown timer option. That's what you see right here. And he just described how to get that on your settings. Watching this market sell off a bit here. Coming into the 70s where we have some liquidity right at the 70 mark. 55.70. We got some down at 55.50. If we really start to sell off right towards prior day low. I would take this on a pullback, but we may just sell off here. We may just rip lower. Oh, there it is. There it is. We may just sell off. We may just rip lower. That's us coming through the 70s very aggressively. Shorts paying. Don't have a way in just yet. Didn't take this first potential not great opportunity. I think this stops you out before it moves lower about half the time or more. Not a good risk structure, so that's not one that I'm going to take every day. But aggressively moving lower now. Let's see if we find some buyers down here around this level, or if we are indeed going to come through this and potentially really start to actually see a direction be picked to the downside, or we're going to have another one of these types of days, these very, very big V-shaped recoveries. But right now, nothing calling long for me. I don't really trust the shorts like I didn't trust them yesterday, but I'm gonna have to try to find my way into this. Bookmap is tripping out in traditional Bookmap fashion. Yeah, 60s look like the level, man. Got liquidity down at 60s. This looks like we want to go crack overnight low. That's what this looks like to me on Bookmap. Let's see if we get a pullback and maybe a way to structure risk and jump in on this. But this is really just a crack lower without much of a way. 1 minute time frame, really not getting any 1 minute bar, trading above prior bar high, just continuing to sell off to the downside. Again, liquidity down here at 60s. This may get violent, man. We may be in for an even faster move than I was thinking, all the way down to prior day low. That's what this looks like right now. Again, would like to be in this. No good way to structure risk. Really don't have a way to place an invalidation point outside of just trying to scalp for a quick movement to the downside, which could be a little bit tricky here. Into the 60s, filling the liquidity down there on Bookmap. Prior day low is the next level, man, and looks like we want to go hit it quickly. Aggressive selling pressure, volume to the downside on these moves. This is interesting. This is really interesting. Not really what I was expecting after that choppy consolidating movement and the kind of choppy overnight session. If you are anticipating this to be a rangy, choppy V-shaped recovery day, you might be looking for buys down here. I I'm not. I would have liked to have catch something on the way down to these levels because I think this is where we find buyers before we potentially move lower. But I'm going to look to find a way into this short if at all possible. Let's see. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Mostly Trade NQ. Good morning. Hey Zach, I think my luck is rubbing off on you too. When the trades we didn't take. No, maybe in here jinxing you're trading in the channel. No, I don't believe in any of that stuff. I don't believe in any of that of jinxing or being in a trade and not taking a trade or anything like that. There's either a trading opportunity or there's not. And if there is, I'm in on it, or I hesitate and miss it. This one, for the reasons I described, not a trading opportunity, right? Not for me. And then if I hesitate and miss something, you know, I talk about that. But no, you're all good, man, and you're funny with your comments. Yeah, just watching us head down around these levels. This is going to be interesting, man. I'm not really going to want to jump in short. I'm going to try to find a way short unless we really reverse here. Even then, I'm still going to look short on this movement, just showing weakness down around these lows. You know, we are now hammering into these lows down here of this area of consolidation. If we start to really show weakness and get through yesterday's low and potentially Tuesday's low, this could be ugly. I don't really anticipate that happening. Kind of like yesterday, this just looks more like a choppy type of day, you know, where we kind of have these V-shaped back and forth movements, but I'm going to let the market show its hand. And if it says down, I'm going to look down. If we recover really aggressively from this area, and we start to push back up towards VWAP for that V-shaped recovery early in the session, could potentially look long on this, but right now I'm in wait and see. I'm not going to sell through these levels. I think that would be a really aggressive move. So on the way down here, didn't get an opportunity, just aggressively sold off down towards it. So let's see what we get now that we are cracking overnight low, putting in lows of the session, lows of the day, shaping up to be a down day here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to mark this low, which I don't have marked. Get the turnaround point down there of Tuesday's low. Yeah, I'm gonna stay patient on this. I'm not gonna jump into anything wild. I'm gonna wait for opportunity to present itself and go from there. But I will say this: I don't know why Topstep X is lagging out like this. I don't know if you guys can see this, but we continue to freeze frame here. Like, market's actually pushing up right now. We're trading 63 1/4, 63 3/4. And I don't know what's going on with this. I'm showing fast refresh rate, but Topstep X is getting a little bit laggy right now. I don't love that. My connection's solid. We're back synced up. Let's see. Let's see what we get. Mine's not lagging. Yeah. Don't know what's up with that. Get a little refresh rolling. Fresh chart. See if that does anything better for us. All right, sitting down around prior day low. This looks weak, really weak, man. Not giving us a pullback. We could sell right through overnight low. Excuse me, overnight low, not prior day low. Towards prior day low. This looks like we want to at least go grab this. I don't have a good way to structure risk. I don't want to sell with a stop loss right above this area of consolidation. It's not really a break and pullback. There's really not a pullback to be had on this until we come way back up higher. This is somewhat not ideal structure for me to trade off of if I look from a risk perspective. There's an aggressive pullback. That's why I'm not selling right off the bottom of these things. Let's see what we get as we pull back up to this area of high volume. Maybe right here, this is all we need. Back to these lows, prior lows broken in a downtrend, just into this area consolidation, and then we aggressively turn to the downside. I may look to short this thing, but I'm going to wait for a little bit of development. Back down through the lows, I would look aggressively short on this. Stop loss above whatever this pullback forms for a continuation lower, right? Simple price action and market structure. Coming through VWAP aggressively, really not pulling back after just a little bit of consolidation here. Hitting overnight low, finding some buyers, and then immediately coming back down to hammer into the lows. That's a short play to the downside. Prior day low being right here is a problem. I don't like to have to hold through such a major objective level like that. But we may have to look short on this bad boy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. Gonna try not to jump the gun just in case we turn and burn to the upside, and this is indeed a hit overnight low and then rip back up here. I don't want to always wait for one of my levels to be hit perfectly, or my VWAPs to be hit perfectly, because it will keep me out of really good opportunities. But yeah, this is aggressive buying stepping in. I'm going to have to wait on this. Again, not going to short it up here. I would be shorting on the way back down. Worse entry price, stop loss way up above here. But this is aggressive buying, stepping right back in. Now trading, 22.25 points off the lows after just swiping overnight session low. This could be setting up for a choppy movement. If we're going to move lower, this is a clean break, retest, and then continuation to the downside. So this is something that I would still look short on if we don't continue to pull up higher. This is going to make for tough risk structure, though. I'm not going to have an opportunity down at the lows now. Not on this type of pullback. So I got two options. Aggressively sell on the pullback, anticipating it continues, or just wait it out. We come back down to these lows. It looks very likely that we break, but now the risk structure is so large that if I'm taking a breakout with a 23-point stop loss, I'm going to need it to break overnight low and then move all the way down, into the 30s. That's not a good move. So this is not presenting a great opportunity. I don't want to take it short right here on so much buying pressure. It looked good short from here. It looked good short from here. I don't know that we continue. This VWAP is holding so far, but I think it could be the easy stop out if we move back up. I'm just going to wait to see if we get a little bit of selling pressure, and I might try it. Finding some sellers at NYSE session VWAP that I threw on there as we started to come lower. Just going to wait to see what happens here. If sellers start to step in on volume, I could see it happening. I could see the short play from over here, but I'm really not super convinced on this just yet. Liquidity at 80. Build 80 on Bookmap. I'm going to try this one short from up here. Whoa, don't want these levels. I'm going to try this one short from up here. We did just fill liquidity at the 80s. I'm not going to have an opportunity as we come all the way back down here to short towards the lows. I'm going to go stop loss up here above VWAP. I think if we have to come all the way back up here, I'm absolutely dead wrong on the trade. We're going to come into this level of high volume, and this is just not going to play to the downside. I'd be tempted to actually manage this thing if we start to come up. But I'm going to run this short on a retest of NYSE session VWAP. Not immediately hitting it right off of this level, but finding some resistance, finding some sellers, starting to consolidate more than we have at all in this pullback, and looking to short for a continuation of the downside down around overnight low. We come higher, we come back into this range. Maybe we continue to sell off, but I think it's much more likely that this ends up being a choppy day where we come through VWAP, like we might do right now, and just come back into this area of high volume and chop around. But if I want an opportunity short, this is it. Like I said, we come all the way back down lower where this trade would already be a winner. I would be getting a stop loss just above these levels, and I would be anticipating a huge move to the downside, which I'm not aware of. I'm not sure of. Right here, right now, could see at least a crack back down lower, even if we're not going to break these lows, just as a continuation of this price action and market structure to the downside. So for all those reasons, I'm short. Decent way to structure risk above VWAP, not by very much. Not by very much. A couple points above VWAP. Again, we have to crack and get above VWAP on this. I think I'm dead wrong. I think we're coming all the way through back up to the 5,600. So that's going to be trade number one for me. Break and retest, simple break and retest. Looking to find sellers on the way down, continuing lower. Taking it aggressively on the pullback, right? Not waiting for massive selling pressure to come back in, because I don't feel I'll have a way to structure risk. Fairly wide stop. Not going to manage this one. Not going to touch the stop. Got to take it. Got to take it. That's going to be trade number one. We come all the way back up on this. I don't know that I'm taking a second one. I think it's just going to be choppy. It would be a buy from down here on this, pull back up. A buy off of overnight low on massive selling pressure. And that's just not a play for me. So let's see what the market has for us. Stop out or some profit. I liked somebody commented victory or Valhalla on one of my posts talking about moving stop loss to break even. So that was a fun one. Not getting the reaction that I'd like to see just yet, but I did like the 80s filling. We had quite a bit of liquidity sitting right up here. That filled, and then we failed to go higher. So from a Bookmap liquidity type view, that looked good. Again, on this, I'm not going to look for a massive push lower. I'm not going to look for us to come all the way through overnight low and prior day low. I'm just going to look for really a crack back down towards the 60s, down to this area of high volume, which we're going to try. Can we get a little bit of continuation on this bad boy? Not yet. Not yet. And the pull back down and then coming back through this does not look good at all. Not look good at all. Don't want to choke up on the trade too much, but I really don't like that price action where we pull back down, come back up through this level. Not really not beautiful. Again, don't want to get shaken out of a trade way too early. Going to give this thing the room to breathe. Trust my stop. It's where it needs to be. This isn't a little invalidation for me on this trade, but this is looking ugly. Right on that movement, looking very ugly. So let's see what we get if we have to take a stop and make it another red live session here. Part of the game, right? With a bunch of green sessions, we're going to get a bunch of red. But we're checking out VWAP. Let's see if we have to crack right through that or if we can get sellers to step in here. If we had them step in here and come lower, break this low, that would look beautiful for this trade. But only a few points away from the stop. We'll see what the markets have for me today. Might have to just get this V-shaped recovery early, man. That's what this is looking like. Finding some sellers at VWAP would really need to see a pretty harsh rejection here in order to have faith in this trade. We come any bit higher, I'm looking at this getting stopped, and that's the end of this one. Again, if we have sellers that take this all the way back down through the 70s, pretty aggressively through this area of high volume, just paying attention to volume profile, that would look good. That would look really good for a move lower. But this, we very well may need to come all the way back up to the 5600s. Yeah, which it looks like we're going to do. Yep, not going to be shorts paying today. At least not yet. At least not yet. But part of the game, man. There it is. There's the stop. 197 across 3 accounts. V-shaped recovery, testing overnight low, breaking directly back through NYSE session VWAP, coming back up to test session VWAP, cracking above here. Would be frustrating to take a stop only to watch this thing sell off really aggressively, but my stop's in a validation point. The trade was not pulling back, or price action market structure was not just pulling back to these lows, not just pulling back to this area for a sell-off, at least yet. V-shaped recovery after initial push lower to overnight low, and then all the way back up to the middle of this area of consolidation. So let's see where we get from here. I don't really have another setup on this. We come and sell directly back off. It's just a frustrating move out of the market where we're going to have a big sell-off, not big, but sell-off, pull back up, and then aggressive move lower. And I just don't have a way to structure risk on that. Or we just crack to the upside. This is, in fact, going to be a sweep lower below lows before we move to the upside. Or really what my gut's telling me is choppy day. Just ended up being a choppy day. But let's see where we go from here. 1L. Let's see if we can't find another opportunity and come back on it. See what we can do here, friends. Chat. Just not it, man. Do you believe in trading psychology, or are you more of a trading systems guy? I believe in trading psychology, and I believe in having good guardrails in place, but not hard objective rules. I think trading psychology is extremely important. I think most traders are not struggling from a lack of an edge in the market. This is my opinion, and other guys will say the opposite. Trading psychology is bullshit, and nobody has an edge. I don't think it's that difficult to develop an edge in these markets. I think the really difficult, a small edge, very small. I think the very difficult part is to be able to trade that with some consistently. To do what I'm doing right here, like yesterday and today, taking losses, right, as they come in stride, without doing anything crazy, without immediately going, oh, now it's going higher, so long, and I'm long off the top, and now I'm in drawdown, or, oh, I got stopped out. You know what? Now it's going to reverse. And then I aggressively size up and I trade, 2 micros to the downside, and I kill the account. Stuff like that. Or you lose confidence in your approach and you start, just strategy hopping or doing something completely different. That is where I see most guys go wrong. And I think that's the most difficult part of trading. So yes, I believe in trading psychology. I would read all the trading psychology books. That's what separates the guys who consistently win from everybody else, who, as we know, majority of traders aren't making money. It's the way they think about trading. That's my 2 cents. That's my opinion. Could be finding pivot point here or fake out to go lower. Man, it is not going to be third no trade day for me in a row. So glad my sister will allow me to not have to think by herself. Awesome, awesome. Need to come up with need this to come up for an entry. How many contracts? That was 3 contracts, 3 micros. Can have a 1 to 2 risk reward with 35 win rate and still profitable. Edge isn't everything, and you're right. Yeah. No, again, like, you know, here's my 2 cents, right? We watch traders trade. You can watch me trade, right? And use the simple stuff that I use, although there's a lot of discretion in what I do. But you watch traders trade and guys that make money all day. There's plenty of guys that you can watch nowadays trading live. They're not using any magical system or something that you really couldn't mimic with a decent amount of accuracy. But as we know, if it was that simple, then, you know, day 1 or month 1, we would all just be making money trading. Well, what takes so much time? Why is there such a learning curve? You know, why is this such a difficult endeavor to go through? I believe there's 2 reasons in there. One is just experience. One is just the discretion and the intuition that you have to build for yourself, right? Because almost every manual trader is applying some form of discretion and interpretation of the rules that they're setting for themselves. But past that, and the bigger piece here, is the mindset and psychology, the understanding of probabilities, the understanding of the markets, and the ability to withstand losses and make it through to the other side. And to withstand green days and not get greedy, right? Because everyone's going to struggle from something completely different. But that's the differentiator. That's the stuff that takes so damn long and so many frustrating days and weeks and months and years, for a lot of guys, of just running yourself back down into the ground. And why so many traders are losing at a 50-50 game, right? Less fees, this is the way I always like to think about it, and what really was a good realization for me. Less fees and commissions and, you know, spreads. This is a 50-50 game. If you randomly entered at a 1-to-1, especially across choppy instruments, you'd be at about break even. So are you telling me, using all the tools and time spent, that you can't find a way to increase that by a hair, even in risk to reward, if not win rate, or a combination of win rate and risk to reward that provides a very, very slight edge? I think most guys can if you put enough time and effort in. The hard part is being able to execute that. That's the hard part. Keeping yourself from letting your emotions get in control, and the really difficult human way of thinking, which is the opposite of the way that we need to think in a lot of ways. So yes, I think that is the differentiator. You know, that is what I see as the differentiator. But again, opinion. That's my opinion. All the way up through VWAP, V-shaped recovery. Early on in this session, not even coming back down to check out that overnight low whatsoever. I like that trade. That's one that I'm taking every day. Again, my approach just not paying me today. That's part of it. I think on another day, with that type of structure and price action, we absolutely come back down to sweep that low, if not just check out that overnight low area, and I grab a winner on that. But not today. And I like where my stop loss was. We continued higher, had to come all the way back up to this area of high volume. I'd be surprised if we rip through here without finding some sellers and coming back down to check out VWAP. There's a buy trade that is somewhat setting up here for a pullback down to VWAP and then a potential continuation, breaking out to the upside. But I don't know about this. This is choppy and ugly. So I'm going to wait to see what happens up here now that we came all the way back up near session highs. Do we pull back to VWAP and find some more buyers? Looking for a potential continuation of the upside? Maybe. But I don't have a lot of conviction in this one. I really don't. But we're fixing to find out, as they say. We'll see what we can get on the rest of this session. Not that my system looks for this, but bearish engulfing formed on the 15-minute on NQ. Yeah, price action. Price action. This, again, I'd be surprised if we hit this area and didn't at least pull back before we potentially blast off. But no direction out of this so far. Looks like we may want to come up through the 5600s. But this is an interesting structure that we're dealing with here. Yeah, right now I'm looking for a pullback. Looking for a pullback down and then some buyers to step in and potentially try to bring this thing higher. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Looks like we want to try it to the upside. Aggressive buyer stepping back in. Could take this one for a breakout up towards 605. That was a quick movement there. Was looking long on that potentially as we came right back up through this level. This doesn't look like a bad play. Just not quick enough on the jump on that one. Yeah. That was just too fast. We were hanging out, slowly moving down here near VWAP. Was looking for a retest of this level, right down to VWAP, just the low end of all of this choppy consolidation here for potential crack higher with a stop loss right down below. But that formed quickly, and then next candle took off. Let's see what we get here, man. This is interesting structure to work with. Really interesting. A lot of volume traded on that one as well. Immediate selling pressure coming back down in. I think this is going to go break and check out like the 610s up above this level. See what we get here. Yeah, just watching price action and structure form up here. This, I don't know that I love this. This is given a second chance for an entry right here, right? If I wanted to get long right here, if I wanted to get long right here, here's my second shot to just go ahead and enter as we pulled right back down without coming down to break this low. But that's a lot of volume up here and an immediate pull back in right back to this area of high volume. We failed to come lower through these lows, or we check VWAP out and then aggressively crack higher. I could see this thing long. This isn't a bad spot to try it. But I don't know if we're just going to end up with a choppy day here. And this is just going to be back and forth drifting around VWAP. And we really just want to hang out around this area. We're not going to find direction. And, you know, I'm going to be trading for a breakout like we're doing right now. Yeah, pulling back in. I'm going to give this thing a minute and kind of see what happens down here around VWAP. Tempted on this long. That we're long in America, I'm back. What's up, Andre? Yeah, I like this structure is choppy, man. I'm trying to be somewhat objective here. Like gun to my head, where are we going from here, right? We had such a chance to take it long and pull, I mean, to take it short here, pull back and continue anywhere. We had to come all the way up to sweep high, maybe to come all the way back down short. Like that's a possibility, but this looks like long, right around VWAP after finding some buyers. Stop loss down around here to continue higher. I'm gonna take it from down here, guys. I gotta try this one. If I take the stop on this, you know, I'm done for the day. That's gonna be it. I'm long 4 from down here. I'm gonna get rid of that. That's gonna be way up here. That's some risk parameters from some scalping stuff that I'm working with. Not really what I'm doing here. Let's see if we can get a push back up towards the 60, 56. Yeah, that's some buyers stepping in. Let's see. Can we get through this area of high volume? Likely to find some kind of chop back and forth here. This could be a gnarly pullback before an aggressive push lower, and I am just on the wrong side of this thing, showing me some profit here. Again, not going to make this into the biggest trade in the world. Just looking for a continuation to the upside after checking out VWAP and finding a bunch of buyers. I like that entry, but we are back up to this area of high volume. This is the problem area. I got to make a decision here because if we come lower, this is the area we're coming to check out, and I don't like my stop loss here. I really need to see buyers continue to take this thing higher here. Yeah, man, I don't know that I could run a wide stop on this. Yeah, this is a tough one, man. This is tough structure to trade. I'm going to call an audible here, guys. I'm scaling out a 2, and I'm bringing stop loss way down here. Here's why. Different trade idea. If I'm going to hold this for a continuation to the upside, I can't have my stop here. I think we're very likely to come down and sweep these lows. That's not a good invalidation point for me. I could go stop loss to break even, but I think I'm getting stopped out right here. I'm scaling out of 2 in profit, right? So secured 25 bucks or not, no, 10 bucks or whatever that was. Cutting the trade in half, widening stop loss, and actually reducing risk, right? Actually reducing risk from the initial $225 to only $185 after securing $10 in profit. So reasons being, I like this entry. I think we're potentially going to move higher on the day. I'm going to run this as a wide stop loss and something that I'm going to have to hold for a much larger movement. I think this is likely to be choppy around this big area of consolidation, this area of high volume. I don't think that a stop loss right here just below this low is appropriate. I have to run something wider, and I'm not comfortable taking on that much risk. I'm not comfortable just moving my stop loss lower. So for all those reasons, trade cut in half from 2 micros to 4, and 18.5 points of risk, really wide, looking for this to be a continuation to the upside. If it's going to be a choppy day, I'm going to be taken out here anyway. I might as well be taken out down here. If it's actually going to show some strength and we're going to have buyers continue to take this to the upside, we're going to break out and run. I want to hold on to it. I don't think that this is just going to be a pop to the upside. We're not getting it right now. And maybe we are going to come all the way through this and aggressively sell off. We come all the way back down here. I think we're either selling off and I'm wrong again, or this is just going to be a wildly difficult, choppy day to trade. And I'm looking for extension when I should just be trading reversals. So for those reasons, long 2 from 5.588, stop at 55.69.5. Looking for a break and continuation. Again, if I'm going to capture some damn profit on this thing, I'm going to need to let it run all the way back up, toward the highs of... why do I not have overnight? Oh, here's our overnight session high. But, oh, yeah, these these pre-market highs up here, that could be fine. Back towards overnight session high, value area high. That's the thought process here. That's what I'm going with. That's my trade management. Quick adjustment as I'm in this one. That's my move. That's my move. So we'll see how this one plays out. If I got to take a second stop, I'm taking the second stop. Trading my system, trading price action and market structure. Waiting for pullbacks, waiting for ways to structure risk, waiting for key levels to be tested, and then strength or weakness to be shown. And today, it will just not be paying if we have to just be chopping back and forth. Blindly selling off of highs and buying off of lows would pay. On another day, I think that situation is an abysmal way to trade, which is why I don't trade it all the time. So we'll see how this pays today. But that's my game plan. Again, no fixed take profit, but I'd like to see a crack up above session highs. We put initial balance high in, right? The first 1 hour of the trading range is up here. We do know that this is more likely to break first by a strong statistic. If and when it does break, we know we often break out to the upside. Again, I don't use initial balance exclusively like that. But we're trading along with that statistic. What we do between now and then, out for debate. Coming lower, ending up being a choppy type of structure. This doesn't look great. Would really have liked to see buyers step back in after a retest of VWAP here. Not loving what I'm seeing, but stop loss is where it needs to be, right? I want to allow for a checkout down around this, this area, this high volume node again, before potentially seeing buyers take this thing back up higher. But this looks like it might be sellers in store to completely rip our faces off to the downside. So back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it might be 2 stop outs for me again. Selling pressure, man. Let's see if we find some buyers down around this level. We don't. We come down lower. I'm out on this stupid choppy day. And on that note, I'll be right back and let my chair trade for me. Not going to touch this one. If I walk away, I'm going to have to set a take profit somewhere up here. I would remove that if we came back, but just in case we pulled some wild movement. But be right back, guys. Let this one play out. Back in action with you guys. Chair didn't do too good. My trading chair didn't do too good. Still finding sellers. Looking like we want to continue lower. Going to trust the stop. Like I said, not going to actively manage these. That was enough active management. Glad I pulled that move when I did, but doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Looks like this is going to be a continuation to the downside. We're down around this level. If we don't find buyers right here, continuing lower, potentially coming to check this level out. And I'd say down on the day, but I'm going to be done for now if I take this stop. Trading live on Topstep TV later today, 2 p.m. Eastern. That'll be fun. See if I can't turn it around on there, take another win. Last time was fun. Took a nice win, ran it into the afternoon. But tough session, man. Tough session. Choppy, back and forth. Presented some opportunity, but we just did not get follow through either way. Getting caught in some of the chop, man. Getting caught in some of the chop. This was direction though, right? Like this is direction to the downside, albeit in a higher time frame area consolidation. This is direction, waiting for direction, pulling back and looking for continuation, saying, okay, you know what? I'm gonna flip bias, not stay stuck in my short bias. Pushing back up, waiting for a lot of movement, albeit you can hop in on this low time frame trend, waiting for a pullback and then continuation, and just not getting it, man. Just pulling back and forth and having these kind of choppy days. Part of it, man. Part of it. This is where the tough part of trading comes in, where you're either going to end up back and forth around break even overall for a period of time, or take losses, have to sustain a drawdown. For me, this is not shaping up to be a terribly ugly week. Started out with some nice wins, but not going to be a beautiful one. Going to be likely red unless this bad boy can start to turn around and see how I make out scalping for the rest of the day and into tomorrow. Early to tell, but part of it, man. Taking L's is part of the game. Don't like it, not fun, but part of my system. No, and most guys' systems, right? Nobody's going to operate with a 100% win rate. Certainly not me. Not even close to it. But if you're on here, smash the like button while we watch me take potentially a second stop out here. Subscribe so you can see what real trading looks like for me. And yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got to say on this one. Interesting. Like from here, I don't know where we go. We come all the way through these lows. Do we really come through these lows and then find aggressive sellers? Like, is that going to be the move for the day? We're going to sell off really aggressively? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we just chop, and I think I'm caught in the middle of it, looking for extensions to the upside, extensions to the downside, and just not getting it. You know, this is, if we come lower, this is making the case for a move lower, but I'm not going to continue to try to sell off of the lows and buy off the highs. It's not working for me. It's going to be a pause, move to some scalping, wait for later in the session, get some live trading on Topstep. But looks like it's going to be another stop, man. That's what I'm working with here. Let's see. All good, still in profit. Zach, congrats, Zach. Yeah, man, on Topstep TV often. It's fun. It's fun to be on there trading with those guys. I'll be back when bulls come back into the market, I guess. I'm much more comfortable in my longs and shorts. This isn't the market for you, Andre, for sure, man. This weak market is not the bulls market for sure. Choppy, maybe you're finding it around the lows, but past few days and weeks, I'm sure, haven't been super fun if you're a long-only trader. For the most part, you know, we do know U.S. indices love to go up. Stocks love to go up. But this would be a tough market to be trading if you are a long-only type of guy. In by the skin of my teeth here, but I don't like this area where we're starting to consolidate. I think it's unlikely that I survive any kind of a pullback lower unless we immediately reverse from up here. Again, not going to manage the trade, not going to touch the stop. and save a couple bucks on this. Don't want to smother it. Take myself out of something that might move. Stop is where it needs to be. But I don't like this at all. For obvious reasons, right? For obvious reasons. Yeah, unless buyers step right back in, take it through, through this area that we've been really wicking through and continue higher. This is looking like a stop out. I think a fine move is going to be a wick lower and then potentially a continuation higher, which would just be frustrating to see. But this trade idea so far not playing out too nicely. Really need to see buyers step in, take this thing higher, and then when we get back up to this problem area, when we get back up to VWAP, really continue higher, right? That's what we need to see. We wick higher here and then come back down to these lows. This is going to look like continuation of the downside, and I think we could see some really aggressive selling, actually. Like, if buyers don't sustain this move to the upside and we start to continue lower, I think we could really see aggressive selling pressure coming through these lows. Unfortunately, just not going to continue. For me, I won't have another chance on this. I'm not going to give myself a third trade after taking 2 stops, especially with something really wide like this. Just not playing out in my favor. Again, we come back up to this level. I would really need to see some strength be found to find some confidence that we are going to, in fact, break this and continue to the upside. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, decision time down here. A wick lower, I'm out. A turn and burn to the downside. Like, if we get a big bearish candle coming back through these lows, I think this is a clean sell, really aggressively to the downside, just counter to my trade. But again, I'm not going to give myself a second one. Not willing to put that much risk on. Copy trading these accounts, keeping them kind of conservative. We find buyers up to this level could just be a retest where we are indeed going to put a lower high in and then continue lower. But would be happy to still be in the trade and have potential to see this thing move. I think we could see buyers rip through this area and then really continue higher. But here's what I was worried about right here. Aggressive selling pressure, stepping right back in. Got to hold these lows. Really got to hold these lows and this high volume area and then see a continued move to the upside. Let's see. But hanging out long with you guys on here. Not exactly what I was intending. Live trading later today. Was looking to get in and out. But we're here. We're here with a live trade on, and I'm going to watch this one play out with you guys. Sellers taking it back down. Again, we come through these lows. I don't know that I would be selling a breakout another day, but this is definitely a potential short. We come down and break this low. Again, along with that, just price action and structure. Do I really want to be trying the same type of a trade? Buying towards strength on the highs, selling towards strength on the lows? No, because we're forming this really ugly V-shaped chop back and forth. So we'll see what we get. See if it take the second stop, which it looks like we may have to. YM selling back off. NASDAQ selling back off, coming through lows. Looks like downward movement, man. Looks like downward movement. Yep. That's going to be it for me, boys and girls. 2 stop outs. Not fun. Not fun. Dealing with a choppy back and forth market. We'll see what happens for the rest of the day. I don't really have a ton of conviction. I think if we do come through this level aggressively, we are likely to see sellers step in and bring this thing lower. But so far, this has just been very choppy back and forth. This may be a really frustrating one to watch later in the afternoon to see if we find buyers and start to bring this thing higher. My stop loss will just have been where it needs to go, right through this level to allow for this to happen, but not any wider than that. Not any wider than that. So, on that note, guys, I'm wrapping it up. That's it. 2 L's. Part of the game, man. Part of the game for me. Part of trading is going to be taking L's. That's going to be that. But be back trading live with you guys on Topstep TV later today, 2 p.m. Eastern. 2 p.m. Eastern. You would think good economic news would trigger up moves in the market. Not yesterday or today. No. Market's really not responding to economic news whatsoever. I mean, it is, but I don't really pay too much attention to the fundamentals that way. But in any event, guys, done for the day. Ending red, 370 times 3 here. Not what I want, but part of it, man. Part of it. Remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that you see here or anywhere else from me is financial advice. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. If you trade, you're probably going to lose money. Make sure you read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content. Hop in the free Discord, 100% free Discord community. Hang out with me, trading live here every day as I'm watching buyers step back in and try to take this thing higher. Oh man, this might be a frustrating one to watch. Let's see it. Affiliate and partnerships disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content. Check out Tradeify, code RDF if you want to skip the eval, go straight to a funded account, and get the best deal for yourself. 35% off 50K accounts with them, and all the other fun links in my content. But buyers stepping back in, at least right here for now. I got to see this. Well, you guys can watch this one. Stopped out by just a few ticks there. Maybe just a point. We got buyers stepping back in, looking like they want to take this thing back up towards these highs. That's going to be a frustrating one. We'll see. We'll see how this ends up. We'll see if we run the highs or if we do indeed continue lower. But yeah, I'll wrap it up here, guys. Get ready for Topstep later on today. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys in Discord. I'll be here live with you guys tomorrow. Take care. Have a good rest of the day. Trade well. Structure your risk. Structure your risk, friends.